Hello viewers and welcome to another edition of the program Salone Trending Issue with me, Isatu Sesay. Today the camera day na the Electoral Commission Salone as the National Unity and Reconciliation Party. They can do the nomination today, and we get for go outside the nomination process. They go on as soon as if get for no waiting go through the nomination, the questions the way them be get for ask them, and also waiting get for be the word of the leader when Jonathan Sandy, where people can cut short JPJ, waiting himself get for talk about this whole process, the nomination process, and why he wants for be president for the Republic of Salone, and other members themselves we get for talk to them why them believe on this party, say this party if it can have power it go change Salone.
Some of the good sports the way they make we go to war. We don't begin to them back. Bad governance, corruption, wasteful spending, all man government money 50-50. For me, I can check my record from Fishbees down to State House, down to the United Nations. I know one day it's possible in penny. And I'm sure say that integrity and credibility there. When I don't try to home base. God bless you. When I don't try to home base. To home base when I don't try when I be the same first thing. We not want UN people then Salone not to UN garage. But when I compare to Yankaba, when I compare the two other home base, the two the two home base, the two home base there, what happen? We don't go before. Also, I want to go. Yankaba, and as Kora, Mala, also I go take. Me, I be Yankaba and chief of staff. I don't go play what they do. Me and to get the same character. When we done college, we go overseas, we study, and then after that we come, we work for government. At Denaso, say we done the work pattern, and get me marked in there. We within a rough month. We are the chief of staff of the national security system. I took an oath for battle for redemption of the soul of our people, and I did that sincerely. And at the moment, now that I continue for the. But when I see after the Tijankaba way he turned back. Now able for Salone from water. Not so?
Yeah.
From that moment now when Yankaba left, 2007, we hand over to the two local Brits there. Waiting now to be able for continue for make life better. So I feel say the agenda now for now resign back now the international community and the brother join me and all follow campus together back on track with the African Union of 55 countries, then they won 100. So waiting then I'm in 8 with my local experience where I get all throughout where I work 15 years or more. I don't go work back 15, almost 20 years outside. I think I'm in a better situation for understand Salone in domestic and foreign policy. So that will be we cover our president in Jesus' name. We will not in Jesus' name.
Presidential advice is full of money. Presidential. You said for corner. What advice? Presidential.
Presidential advice, presidential candidates for the NURP.
before we start, let me take this opportunity to introduce to you the National Returning Officer, who is in charge of this nomination process. The National Returning Officer, for the purpose of the conduct of elections, is in charge, and is also the network of electoral commissions in the West African sub-region. He is Commissioner Mohammed Keneri Konem. We also have in the building another electoral commissioner. She is the commissioner for the Western region. She is Commissioner Zainab Umu Mosiri. The executive assistant to the CC and Chair, colleague, just immediately after the commissioner, Alex Sabat. For the purpose of this process, we have citizens, observer institutions. We have elections observers network here on this side. We also have members of the media and of estate, and of course, other staff and members of the ECSL. You're all welcome. Just to give an overview, nomination is a process. In this case, presidential nomination is wherein qualified persons who intend to contest elections are selected, and their names, photos where applicable, and symbols are captured to be printed on the ballot. For nomination of presidential candidates, the law makes provision as stated in sections 43, 44, 45, and 46 of the Public Elections Act 2022. Nomination of presidential candidates, the form that is to be used for such nomination, payment of nomination fees, publication of nomination. We have the provisional one as well as the final one that is gazetted. So all of what we do with regards to presidential nomination can be referenced in the PEA of 2022. This process has 3 stages. Stage 1 is where you have the reception officer. As the name implies, reception, that is to receive all nomination documents. The role of the reception officer is to receive the document, check the document, and verifies that all the necessary documents have been submitted. When we talk about documents, we're talking about the nomination form itself, the hard copy of the voter registration cards, proof of payment of the nomination fee, and the statutory document that is being signed by both the presidential and vice presidential candidates. After that process, we move to the second stage, which is the scrutiny officer stage. We have 2 officials at that level. The role of the scrutiny officer 1 is to further review the documents, that is the nomination form and all of what it entails, to ensure that there are no errors. After, he will confirm using the online platform, because we are doing nomination, both the hard copy as well as the online version. That is a way of checking that all the necessary things have been done. After, he will make copies, photocopies of the relevant documents to ascertain. And the role of the second official, well, before that, if there is a need for photo to be taken, it is taken at that level. But if the political party has a preferred photo of the presidential candidate for the ballot, then it can be tendered at that level. The role of
Thank you, Robert.
I know this is an interview. So without wasting much time, I will encourage you to move to the next stage of your submission of your documentation. And then we'll come back here and then we'll talk about your commitment towards peaceful conduct of your party, your membership.
The nomination papers include the following: political party endorsed candidates for presidential election. We have the checklist for presidential candidates. We have the nomination form for presidential candidates. We have the statutory declaration of presidential and vice presidential candidates. Proof of payment and copies, well, physical, the voter registration cards. I think there's also a copy. We have completed this at this stage. We can now move to the next stage, which is the scrutiny stage. Thank you.
Nomination or acceptance of your nomination, where we before we do that, as I mentioned earlier, every candidate that have gone through here, we have asked them the same question: what's your commitment towards peaceful election? What's going to be your contribution? How do you intend to manage your supporters to ensure that their conduct are in line with the message of peace and non-violent elections for the 2023 elections? Thank you.
On behalf of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, I want to take this opportunity first to thank you and the staff of the Electoral Commission of Leone. I must say, it's been a long journey, and in the process of preparation and planning for elections, we, together with the electoral management bodies, whether PPRC and the Electoral Commission, are very pleased that they have had a cordial relationship and level of trust, both at the regional level and at the national level. We think we will continue with that. One of the values of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, our National Returning Officer, is to prevent the eruption of political election-related violence. It's a fundamental principle entrenched in our Constitution and on the basis of why the National Unity and Reconciliation Party was established, based on the ideology to promote the implementation of some of the findings and recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. As you know, went through war in this country. And we also are aware that after war, the major sources of trigger or drivers of conflict is identity politics related to tribal and regional across Africa. On the basis of our experience, myself and my team, my vice president to be, and then the National Unity and Reconciliation senior leadership, and our supporters in general, we've worked so hard over 1 or 2 years promoting dialogue across different districts in this country to prevent the eruption of political election-related violence. I want to reassure you, on the basis of this trust and relationship, that we are very aware of identity politics, something that could trigger violence across regional tribal lands. And we, the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, as our slogan defined, let's cut across to make Mama Salon for. I want to honestly, on behalf of my counterpart, my vice president, and members, senior leadership, and national women who is a war victim, is an amputee, National Women's Day, that we want to vow that as we move ahead, the remaining days of this election, we will continue to conduct ourselves based on the code of conduct as defined by political parties through the PPRC. So we want to assure you and all the electoral management body that the concept of operation for election security management, and which we continue to promote, will adhere to that and make sure that we have a free, fair, transparent, and peaceful election. So on that note, I want to say thank you again to our membership, and thank you to your commissioners and every staff here that we remain law-abiding and make sure that we behave based on the rule of law and the principles we govern during this election. Thank you.
certificate, I need to read the contents of the certificate. By the constitutional powers conferred on me as the National Returning Officer and under Section 43 and 44 of the Public Elections Act, Act number 17 of 2022, having received your nomination as presidential and vice presidential candidate to whom these nomination papers relate, and to which you have stated that you are qualified and not disqualified for election to the office of President and Vice President respectively of the Republic of Sierra Leone by the statutory declaration therein. I hereby provisionally accept your nomination to contest for the above offices, pending any objection to the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone. Congratulations.
Oh, excellent. Hey. Systematically, eh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent.
But they all know me very well. I didn't call the chief. The newly nominated presidential candidate for June 2020. National Unity and Reconciliation Party, which they call Don't have make the electoral competition based on Mandela versus Timberland. So with political ideology very clear, and with the counter message, the campaign message, we say we want to put Salone beyond politics of exclusion, tribalism, regionalism, wasteful spending, and corrupt regimes the way they don't hold we country for so long.
Right. Before we can look at some of the issues that we just talk about, take me through the process we just come out.
The process where we just come out, it's very interesting, and a national requirement as on Ayagi, where the national returning officer say, we all get, even though we don't go through party nomination process now with convention then, I'm glad to see some of the familiar faces and they as well when they attend that convention. The next step was to come to the National Electoral Commission through a normal nomination process for make sure we go through this process. So step by step, we don't go through the process where we get for fill form online, or make sure we provide photo them, the nomination. Because as you know, we bargain on national security. And national security, where we take oath for in those days when I was Chief of Staff of Sijan Kaba before I left for the United Nations. Now vetting. And I'm glad that the vetting and the screening process, for say we know we'll get somebody, we'll get to SIM, for example, for if it gets on our sovereignty. And that is why I'm very happy about the process. Because the screening, just like what the ONS one I contributed for establishment in 1999. Now, some of the vetting provisions then, where they go through that system, they will check your ID card, will check who's your mama and papa born you, whose party you come out, Skype you be. I think I'm very happy the screening, the vetting and screening process went very well, and I'm very happy that when I said the process be lead to what they call transparency and accountability, and I'm very pleased with that process. And as I say, for this election, we know they are so for we own. With our main campaign machine, how we go put Sierra Leone back on track, and they go design at the United Nations, finally on the international community, for work together with my brother and all the party members and our own. They say it is now time we go beyond what they call Mandela versus Timberland political campaigns, regional and tribal identity politics. I don't work Sudan, I don't work Ethiopia, when I see what happened in Rwanda, after they speak between the Tigray and the Oromo and Ethiopia, then they fight because of electoral competition. So one of the objectives we they are to now for make sure we're going to fight or get fed during the election. So I'm very pleased that we campaign message say we will come together for just like what Young Babi do. He work for government in almost 10 to 15 years. Not the same thing. I work for government from grassroots, from fishes officer, State House for 7 or more years with the Yankaba. Then I left go to the United Nations. I don't almost get 15 to 20 years working for ECOWAS, the United Nations, the African Union. So I want return back for see how we go put Sierra Leone back on track so that we'll go beyond Sierra Leone where economic hardship not a problem. How to make sure that the cost of living crisis will face everybody. We able for the gross human right violation. We will try to reduce that. The impunity. Yes, we will talk about freedom of the press, but yes, the cyber security crime. What we been saying until for done the other the national security system for regulate. Assist will put that into part. Not to for the witch hunt for make sure the press should have their medium and they will be able for to. So I stand for that, and I'm sure my party still stand for what they call the JPJ Big Six agenda, the National Unity and Reconciliation Big Six agenda. We say we public policy priority for this election at the Big Six. The Big Six one, we want to secure and unite Sierra Leoneans. At the moment, the 18 tribes in our country, the 17 political parties are not united. So how can we enhance what they call political cooperation so that whether you're Mende, you're Timini, you're Limba, you're Kriyo, you're Yalonka, you're Kono, you're Soso, you're Gizi, we can all work together. It is only where we get the politics right through with tribes and the 17 political parties under a common national agenda, which is a collective responsibility, now we're able to secure economic prosperity. And not see one day any country where the people, they're not there together as a nation and a people, as a region and a tribe, when they're not there together and they're able to forget economic security and dignity. So major challenge for our Big Six agenda, the first priority for public policy priority, we want to make sure we'll make sure Salone day together, and one way we'll intend to do that now through a review of the national constitution and send that into referendum so that we'll be able to inspire our own generation so that the constitutional provision will say any local wangi person now ministry and department will be sensitive to regional and tribal balance. We also want to make sure that the absence of political transition between what they call political transition, one president, one regime, they left to the other, will not get any law. Now I go tell you and say the country not steady because we'll not be able as a nation, when we done 2018 election, we transfer power from one government to the other, we'll not be given in law. So suspicion can level of trust, mistrust between many of the factions that were within at the first regime and this regime within now. So in that situation, we see politics of divisiveness, hateful things, and they come. So we do not have it. So we want to make sure we get a political transition. And we also want to get Korean cultural policy. We're not for ban people that whether or they dance or they dance. We should be free as Sierra Leoneans. Sierra Leoneans have suffered a lot. So that's objective one. The next public policy priority is for fix the economy. The economy now they work for everybody. I go tell you say look the people that more they work with now they amputees and war victims. If we ask yourself the question, are they in a better situation today? Are they worse? No. I don't go now all the camps there. 3-4 years I don't work with them. You go see them also there also. They have been excluded from the national budget. Nobody cares about them. The third one, apart from that, when you talk about the economy is not working for them, 75% of our youth are unemployed. And then the research, UN research, what they do don't show say, 75% of Sierra Leoneans there now consumers there. Then they eat no more. They say bribe there, handouts. So my desire is to see how can we convert that 75% unproductive consumers there where they eat no more than sit down now the unbound citizens to production. We are not producing as a nation. We never think we'll get for talk about your manifesto, but Mr. Sandy, somebody with the list you go ask you get a capacity to win the next election? Yes, I do because I think Tem don't can away be people that don't tie with Mandela versus Tim Nadana one, and at the campaign based on them public policy priorities, the issues with the matter. I want to solve the problem of Sierra Leone, just like where Tijan Kababi left for the UN in South camp, able for moving from war to peace. Then how to move Sierra Leone from recovery to post-war reconstruction to development. And they don't stop. We need our people with dignity, the impact of cost of living crisis. We say Agladewe jelly, coconut water, 2018, where we team up election. 2018 jelly now be 1,500. Now 7,000 euros. Jelly? So what I'm saying is the cost of living is not easy. The road, the local tax. And what I'm saying, the local transport, look how far it don't go. Look at the exchange rate. The macroeconomic policies, we sit down, they listen to IMF and World Bank number. The macroeconomic, yes, inflation rate, now this, we national domestic revenue stream, they go up. But yet, how have that translated to income inequality? No. So the third point I want to address now, how to promote equality and inclusion of youth, amputees, war victims, and others, so that they cannot be excluded from state resources. God gave us abundant natural resources, mineral resources, over 25. Why will not be able to tap into this enable population. We have huge bulge. 65% of our population are youth, are young people. We want to leave them to kush. We want to leave them to commercial sex trade. That's the only opportunity they have. Poverty is reeling. No, I can't see I'm doing this for other international community. I just come on Libya. And they go back then 2 days after, go help other countries in Sudan. I'm the current chairman of the African Peace and Security Council. And they don't want once that they do that. Yes, Sudan they born. We do not want, as a Pan-Africanist, as somebody who stand for promote globalization and regionalism, I do not want Sierra Leoneans to go back to war. So this election, we are in this election to make sure that we promote what they call equality and inclusion. We have excluded 65 to 70% of our able-bodied. They are not part of the national budget. People that sit on the parliament, they make 50,000 for say they retirement, they want come on. They make ban policies and laws there. That parliament. And then the executive, now they don't turn the rich man for Sierra Leone. With my background in national security and intelligence services, I will prosecute people through the criminal justice system, make sure to investigate them and prosecute them and convict them. If not jail with the jailer, jail them for 50 years. We will not have our anti-corruption to be a recovery program. No, how you go take money, then you say, now recover. Instead of we don't establish bank, then they for that. No, so. But how you go make sure say people don't take money? The Obele Commission of Inquiry don't put on a report. They say, look, the name they all. I know they call name they you sabi them, but many of them don't pass into different parties. Then now, for they hide them unexplained wealth. That is corruption to the peak. They have to account for those monies. They should not hide into other parties. The Obele Commission of Inquiry, the government of Sierra Leone spent over $1 million. What have we done with the report? Let's jail these people. They should not hide behind the scenes of other political parties for make sure say they hide their unexplained. With my security background, I make sure that under the economic security agenda, we're able to make sure we prosecute them people, then we convict them for bringing back money, not to for hide behind Mandela versus Timilan political parties. We want them to come out and confess to you people. To confess that for 62 years, they have annoyed our people. Some of us were in Fobe College, now by shit with the level. What are no they? All man will tell you. We suffered our generation to the extent RAF come. Do we want you guys to go back to the pre-wars of RAF? No, we don't want that. Some of us should come here and make sure we battle for redemption of the soul of this country and the people.
Right. Lastly, we see a lot of political parties and don't go into coalition. For an NURP, una open up for any coalition?
Yes, but what's not coalition? There's a difference in our constitution how you define coalition. Coalition, forget name. Which coalition we get name? Coalition, you see where you go Kenya and they say Kenya Wanza. They say Kabitu. Coalitions will have name. Soon we'll be launching our own coalition. Coalition doesn't mean only with political parties. It means with movements, associations, the media, and everybody. The grassroots should rise. If you allow rogue politicians, predating politicians, to coalesce in the name of saving this country, what's the political ideology are they showing?
So whose coalition you don't get for focus on?
We go come, where the term which my vice president go there, nominated go there, and my party will go tell you whose part will they go. But I want to assure you, say, we believe, say, one political party not go done with the witch man there. So the witch man they took on this country. I'm telling you, they don't scatter us on, they go parliament, look, they go pass bad law them. They have the laws they have passed is to exclude people for even vulnerable people like amputees. The way, can you imagine Patamba Fonayi and people then go to them village na Bombali, get that their money, say they want contest as local councillors. You know what happened? They say for pay for 80 people then. Who side people then they pull them on the entire so? All over. So you have politically you went to parliament, pass a law through the PR system for exclude the vulnerable people. If you not get money now, you know the parliament, you not go for team-up election. Now that will face. Right now, MP then are in the struggle and the other. Power one participating in the politics, but they have been excluded. That's why we say our campaign message for 2023 is simple. It's about putting Sierra Leone back on track beyond politics of exclusion and corrupt regimes. We don't tire. When they say exclusion, look what's in the law and go past. For exclude people and say, well, you don't get money, you're not going to party like youth. Young people cannot afford the money way for participate in politics. And therefore, their decision making and make sure that they contribute to policy making and decision making, they are not happy. We will go change the system back, make sure that if you pass in 1 or 12 citizens in a district, need 12 people then pay. They say if you double. How you go double? Diamond self for the pay, you don't know about 36. So when person die now, they pay still. It's not rational. I'm saying bad politics. I don't blame the ECS. It It is our parliament that is rotten. And they made that bad law, and now all of them have metamorphosed to go into their constituencies again, and they will come back to parliament. The which man they will have to break. And the only way people are done, our coalition we are forming is about grassroots, association, movement, and then few political parties that we trust, not everybody. So then So we want to make sure that they come together for move like Senegal or other countries. So now go battle for Gidimuna country. Otherwise, economic prosperity will be something in the long term. But let us start now. And if we start now, we work together with the media, moving the country from public administration to public governance. Because the role of the media, while the state house with Tijankaba, we make sure we organize them well, and then they contribute there very well. And I'm sure you continue to do that. But we should not leave this state. This is not about Mandela line versus Timid line. Let us vote on who has the better policy agenda for make sure say we reduce poverty, we address the economic hardship, the cost of living crisis, and then protect our borders from threats of global health crisis. Like all economy don't depend on, but because we make carelessness, we able to control, we land border and air, now we don't count on. But I have that expertise. I can use the national security architecture for reduce the threat and risks to your state and make sure that the prosperity of this country will put it back on track for the benefit of Sierra Leoneans.
Hello, welcome to this interview. Your name and who that you be?
Mina Lima Bawa, the wife of the Vice President to be, Apostle Komba Bawa.
So, Vice President to be for political party?
NURP, National Unity and Reconciliation Party.
So, this National Unity and Reconciliation Party, why you trust on them?
Well, Nami party, so definitely I trust on we party because we can for bring change in Sierra Leone, okay? Sierra Leone they suffer for 61 years inside the red and green. We can for bring Sierra Leone together. Now make we say national unity for unite all Sierra Leoneans. If you be Simni, you be Limba, you be Mende, Sierra Leone are one. We all know Sierra Leone. And we can for reconcile. Why? What happened in our country? Still some people are still get inside the pain. So we can for reconcile the people of Sierra Leone. We can for help the people them and get them out of regional tribalism. So I believe say we are the winning party. Why? We can for help the youth. Okay? We can for help we mama them. We mama them, we sister them, now then they suffer. Then two parties they don't care about we mama and we sister them. So we come for help them, okay? So now make we believe and we say, we know say we are the winning party because we come for bring change. Not to talk and not do. We come for bring change. We come for bring action, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mina Mrs. Hayat Samsumana. If you hear me name, it will trigger you for something else. Mr. Samsumana, former vice president, his small brother and I married me. If you see I left APC, I count for NURP because I want let Salone get a change. Not to that same old soup one for the drink, not to that same old story for the panel. We for bring a newness inside this nation, whereby they will testify of the goodness of God inside Jesus' name.
How strong you believe on this party say then go come na power and then go make a change?
I believe strongly because I get the conviction that Papa God self tell me that this nation need a new person who go liberate this nation. We don't try APC, we don't try SLPP, but they all deceive we. But I believe this NURP, now a party, it not get segregation. Mende, Timini, Limba, Kono, Yalonka, we all now one. We they bring everybody to unity. Now that's we want.
Okay, so what are the message where they send out there to Sierra Leoneans them concerning this Una party as we know say and get some traditional political parties them, if I can say so.
I want to send message to the Sierra Leoneans. Let us come on board. Let we build Salone. We not get another Sierra Leone. The only Sierra Leone we get now one Sierra Leone. If anything happen at Salone, you not get money for travel. Only few people go get time for travel. Come to the Combra party, where there for the youth, where there for the Combra them, where there for the man there, where there for the woman them, that we go see how Salone go become.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My name is Elizabeth Matumansare.
And we see you the part of the National Unity for Reconciliation Party, the nomination. I go on follow you. Tell viewers, what do you think about this nomination?
Well, the nomination is very fine. It come out fine successfully, and I hope say the National Unity Party it go bring change in this nation. Yeah? Because we don't really tired. Me go at snap, that's why they talk so. We don't really tired with this change in baton, SLPP, APC. If other party can inside, when a new party so far, I hope say the youth man there so far, the young man there, they go support the party because we don't really against, we don't really tired about this change in baton, this that, Timini Mende, this. I don't really tired with her. So do your best. How no more the National Unity Party it support all man so far, and let's say be handicapped, you not cripple, you not blind, as they support all the nation there, all the people there. I really want make the youth man there, the young man there, make them vote for this party here, because we don't really think if not try for pool this Timini, this Mede tribe, if not try for pool and this nation here, Salone, it go really crack. How no more ever see talk? I said Salone don't crack, not to crack it don't crack them. Salone don't die then we want wake her up while let Salone grab back, make cancel life. So do ya me they beg me confident, and they beg me company youth man there, me company young man there, young woman there. Do ya beg? May they come on be kush, may they come on be hate speech for all come together. Lord be this nation as one mama Salone, because we all are one. Unity, freedom and justice may prevent this nation. Yeah, all council one. Lord be this nation. Lord come on be a hate speech. Lord left for council politicians then the way had another day. Lord left for council politicians then like animal, like dog, like puss. Lord all council one so far. Lord come on be social media for council all kind of word na social media. Lord come on be this social media business. Lord council one. Lord vote. Lord be a peaceful vote. To come into June 24, let become peaceful, vote free and fair by the power of the Holy Spirit. So now that message me get for tell me company Leoneans there. My name was Isabel Matumansare.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
As soon as I listen to waiting the leader and chairman for the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, don't talk about the reason we make it want for be the president come to June 24, 2023 for the Republic of Sierra Leone. And also the supporters themselves don't talk the reason we make them believe on them and believe say the party go kana power. Mina Isatu Sesay. Until we meet again to another edition of the program Salone Trending Issues, I say